So I'm going to throw in a little disclaimer. I am going to be talking about some heavy topics in this video, so if it's going to trigger you, please click off, don't watch this video. We are going to be talking about the Hunger Games series. There's a new book by Suzanne Collins, so if you're interested in that, stay and watch, but if you're not, mental health is top priority. So go watch something else, go watch a guided meditation, do some yoga. I want you to look after you. I also just want to say sorry about the lighting. I'm filming in the daytime. The sun is currently setting. Sunset on the reaping. So let's get into it. Hi everyone, my name is Sydney and today we're going to be talking about Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. And this book was horrifying. Thank you, Suzanne Collins, because this book was so much better than The Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes. I kind of hated that book. If you want to watch my book talk on that, I'll leave my review down below for you to check out. I really didn't like that book because my expectations were high. The way Suzanne went about the story was just not what I was looking for personally. With Sunrise on the Reaping, I really enjoyed it. I found it anxiety-inducing, so much fun to read. It made me cry. It made my jaw drop to the floor. It was just so good. A little rundown about this book. It is the 50th Hunger Games and we are following Haymitch. And for those of you who don't know what the Hunger Games is, it's basically a reality TV show where people are chosen against their will to participate in a game where only one person can be the winner, while all the rest die. So for those of you who haven't read this book, please go read it, come back and we can talk. It's a really good one, highly recommend. And for those of you who have read it, I think it's time. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. So following Haymitch was awesome, and I actually read a lot of reviews where people were disappointed that Suzanne, she decided to tell the story of Haymitch when he was in the Hunger Games, and I really enjoyed that, but I was reading a lot of reviews where people would have preferred if Suzanne went from the point of view of Haymitch watching different people that he mentored die. And I think that would have been really epic, but I enjoyed this because it enabled you to see past Haymitch, to understand why he is who he is today. In the Hunger Games series, you're thinking he's an alcoholic, he's an asshole, but there's a reason why he is. It makes sense why they would have PTSD, why they would become alcoholics, be depressed, anxious, suicidal, whatever it is. It makes sense because this world that Suzanne has created is intense, it is brutal, it is awful, and I cannot even fathom being a part of it because I would die in seconds. So let's go from the beginning. We open up this book with the reaping being on Haymitch's birthday, and it is on his birthday every year. I cannot even imagine that that is a gift you get every year. And this is the year Haymitch turns 16. He has this beautiful gift that he receives from Lenore, which is his flint striker. It has a bit of symbolism of having the snake and the mockingjay, which is a little connection, I found, to Lucy from The Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes. Such a long title, oh my god. I'm just gonna say From the Ballads. And I love that Haymitch got to bring the flint striker along with him to the games. Haymitch was not picked. It's funny because at the beginning Haymitch is saying that he has so many ballots with his name on it, but his name doesn't even get called. Someone else's name gets called and they run away. They get shot by the peacekeepers, which was so brutal, by the way. Out of all the other deaths in this book, I probably would want to go out that way instead of in the Hunger Games, to be honest, because we will get there. It gets so brutal, this book. Oh, it gets so brutal. So Haymitch, he has a love, Lenore Duff. She is on the side comforting the person's mother. Whilst that is all happening though, Haymitch goes over to her, intervenes, and within seconds the peacekeepers, they end up choosing him as the next tribute, which is so awful because his name wasn't even called, he didn't do anything wrong. I loved the fact that Haymitch's brother, his name is Sid. My name is Sid as well. Sid. Reading this book was pretty crazy, reading that. I thought that was a bit wild. I can't imagine being the family of the tribute, but also being the tribute. I can't imagine. The girl who was called from District 12, is Luella McCoy. Haymitch is calling her sweetheart. You get this little parallel to the Hunger Games series where Haymitch is calling Katniss his sweetheart, which is also really beautiful because Katniss's dad, Burdock, is someone we meet in this book. Burdock was Haymitch's best friend. I thought that was a really beautiful connection. Luella is so young and Haymitch feels like he has to protect her. Straight off the bat, he could not protect her. Luella goes flying out of the chariot and dies an instant death. When that happened, my jaw dropped to the floor. I could not believe it, and it brought me straight back into this world of how brutal this world is. And then you have Haymitch. He brings her dead body and lays it at the feet of President Snow. President Snow is so fucking scary. He doesn't give two shits. He has so much power. If you get in his way, he will bring you down. But he will bring you down in the worst way possible. He might not kill you, but he will kill all the people you love or make sure they get killed. And we do see that in this book, but I will get there soon. This is why I was so disappointed with the Ballads book, because I was hoping that we would get this kind of book to see how Snow became so evil. To me anyway, it still doesn't feel clear. Haymitch's bond with Luella and Lulu reminded me so much to Katniss and Rue. This sense of having to protect someone younger than you and having to protect this innocence that the capital Snow is trying to steal away from everybody. Snow decides to bring in Lulu, a completely random girl from a completely different district who has this metal in her ear at her chest. I thought that was wild how they could get a girl who looks exactly the same and that quick. I'd love to just know her backstory of who was she. We kind of get a glimpse into knowing that she's from District 11 through the bread that she chooses and the different things she says. It was just so horrible to see that she had to play the games unwillingly, but she's so young and you just know she's going to die, which is the other part of this book where you're following characters and you end up liking them, but you know that they're going to die. It's just so shocking every time. So before we get into the games, we have Haymitch's mentors, who are Mags and Wyrus. But then we also meet Beatty, who is Ambit's father. I liked that we got to see them again, but I also kind of disliked that we got to see majority of the characters from the other series back in this book. I don't know, I kind of just felt like it was a bit unrealistic. So many of these other characters we know and love are just in this book. In saying that, it was still really cool. We see Mags and she can talk, whereas in the Hunger Games series she's mute, so she was clearly tortured, as we saw at the end of this book. Beatty is clearly in the other books. He survives. How awful was his son's death? I'm up to page 251 reading about these squirrels that are tearing Ambit apart. This angle is super accurate for this. This is just awful. That was another part in this book where I read that and I needed a moment. Ambit's death, as well as Luella's death from the chariot, were awful to me. Ambit dies by being stripped. Do we even want to go there? Oh my god. It just got worse. Oh my god, there are tears forming in my eyes. I feel speechless. That is the most horrific death. These squirrel mutts who tear him away from the bone. You have Beatty and Plutarch Heavensby who are working against the capital. So they put their trust in Ambit and Haymitch. Interesting. We have Maisily as well. I loved Maisily. I loved that her token ended up being so many necklaces. It's so my vibe. I would go in with all my jewelry if I had jewelry and would hope that I would get to keep all of them. The tokens, they have explosives in them. So the sunflowers that Maisily made for a particular district, crazy. If you were going around playing this game and you have no idea and you're wearing that around your neck, crazy. I really liked Maisily. I thought she was sassy, a badass, and she held her ground. Maisily also helped Hamish because she was the one that killed Panache, who was going for him. He is so lucky. If she didn't do that, he would be dead, and Macely, she probably would have won. With her poisonous darts, so cool. Macely, she never understood why Hamish kept saying we need to go north, because he wants to go to the end of the games to blow it all up. You also have the smallest moment where Hamish thinks that he's done it, where he blew up the tank, water was gushing out, but then the mountain erupted. For a split second, the sky became real and he could see the stars. He was thinking of Sid's stars, my stars. That little glitch happened and then we were straight back in. You have this image of Hamish being like, yes, fuck you. Next minute, oh my god, embarrassing. Dude, stop. But then you have this fear come across Hamish's face where he thinks that blowing up the tank and the game makers deciding to erupt the volcano might have been the worst mistake, but it ended up being okay. Let's take a moment to talk about the mutts. I forgot how horrifying the mutts are, and they come in different forms. You have the ladybugs. The ladybugs were fucking disgusting. They're like mosquitoes in a way, sucking up blood and getting bigger and bigger, and oh, it was so gross reading that. And they attacked Macely and Hamish, how they stripped down to their underwear. Thank God they ended up being fine. You then have the squirrels. Oh my god, I can't. The squirrels were the most horrific thing to me. I can't. Because I would go up to them and be like, oh, they're so cute. Next minute, dead. Oh, disgusting. The mutts alone are so terrifying. Oh! I love in this book you have the sponsors, and they really provide in this book. I don't know if you noticed, but they really provided. Hamish was getting them. The amount of sponsors he had who were sending him down food, oh my god, I would be so happy. The moment where he receives the soup from Mags, reminding him of District 12, his home. The chocolate balls reminded me of lint balls. I loved that scene. Hamish and Welly are up in the trees. Silka is down, sitting with her back against the tree crying. But in this moment, there is no games. They are just people. That was a really sweet moment, and it really was a poster moment. So Silka, or Welly, which death do we want to talk about? Welly's death was also terrifying. How Hamish said, I'll be right back. I promise I'll be right back. They end up dead. Silka just beheaded him. Silka and Hamish are the last ones. Silka did a huge slash at Hamish's stomach where his guts were just coming out. I'm surprised he didn't just die right then and there. But Hamish manages to pop out her eyeball and then she just dies. And right after she dies, the peacekeepers, the game makers, they're telling Hamish to stop. But he doesn't care. He throws the bomb, one last bomb, to see if something would happen. But he wakes up in basically a hospital bed, bandages and all, with milk and bread from Snow. You have the ending of this book, which was awful to read, The Homecoming. In the Hunger Games series, Hamish makes the point of saying the homecoming is the worst part. You may think you have won, but you have not won, because you now have to carry everything that you experienced in your game with you for the rest of your life. So Hamish's homecoming felt really stretched out, but in a great way. He has days in the hospital bed trying to recover. He then has days of interviews, parties, where he just has to stand there and act like everything's fine. He gets sent on a train with the coffins of his other teammates, his friends, Lulu, Macely, Wyatt. I haven't even talked about Wyatt yet. And then poor Hamish, his mum and Sid, me, are being burned alive in their house. And then Lenore. This whole book, Lenore has been captured and is in prison. I really thought that once we got back home, Snow was going to murder her, so she wouldn't be able to watch any of the games. Hamish could come home to her just being gone, not knowing where she is. I was quite surprised with the ending of this book. Hamish has to live with the brutal nightmare that was true, handing Lenore a gumdrop. It's like a Katniss Peter moment. It's so Romeo and Juliet. I'm surprised that Haymitch didn't grab the gumdrops and eat it himself so he could die with her. But I guess he wanted to upkeep her wish in trying to destroy the games as best he could. And I guess with Katniss they did. I wish that we got more of Wyatt, because Wyatt also got super interesting. I really liked his character. He has this whole evens and odds mindset, but the way he dies, again, he's protecting Lulu right at the cornucopia. It's so sad. I thought he would have had more time. But yeah, that was my thoughts on this book. I loved it. I thought it was so much fun to read. It was entertaining, jaw-dropping, anxiety-inducing, and I'm excited if Suzanne ends up doing another book. Who is she going to focus on? Is she going to focus on Finnick? Is she going to focus on Mags? Is she going to focus on someone else, like Beatty even? So yeah, that was my thoughts on this book. Horrifying is the word. I would love to hear what you have to say about this book. Please leave a comment down below and let me know if you liked it, what you thought about it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. As usual, bye!